Yo, yo, yo. Good morning, boys and girls. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Love me a bit of Green Day, but let's turn that down just a touch, shall we? How are we all doing? Are we good? How are we all doing? Welcome in, welcome in. Mr. Norton, Drizzling Rose, are you not streaming today? What's going on? What's going on? 305 levels done. So only 45 to halfway. You've got more levels on your character, I think, so far than I have levels in my professions. That's outrageous. Spent 9 million on Majestic Hides today. Fucking hell, Mr. Goldson. Oh, boy. Well. Sure, today's my cheat day. Friday is pizza day, beer and pizza day for me. Yes. Can't wait to order that later. K-Chak's skinning army will be happy. I don't think K-Chak's doing skinning armies. I don't think K-Chak particularly does all army stuff, full stop. I was chatting to K-Chak last night, actually. I don't know what to do today. I'm going to be honest. I have what can only be described as creator frustration at the moment. Wednesday was not a good day for those who may have noticed. Wednesday was a bit of a difficult day. I nearly rage quit the entire fucking stream on Wednesday. Hence why I didn't stream yesterday. Simply because the negativity about just this expansion launch is kind of wild. So yeah, good vibes only today. Genuinely good vibes only. I ain't gonna talk about no silly exploits. We're not gonna piss around with doing any stressing about things working or things not working. We're just gonna play the game and have fun. I've actually been working on my TSM setup for this expansion. I was chatting with the guys over at TSM as well yesterday, talking on the BOE profession gear, specifically the tools, on how we can go about what is the best practice on going about grouping this stuff up, because of course it'd be really nice to put them all in a group in a sensible way that means you wouldn't undercut a stupid crafting speed tool with a resourcefulness tool or something more valuable. The issue is Blizzard's bonus ID system basically means you can't do that. So there isn't actually going to be a good solution for this long term, it doesn't look like. So if you are running about and you're crafting profession tools specifically, where there is 4 distinct variations that you want to pay attention to, you are going to have to either do one of 2 things. Either post them manually by not using Trade Skill Master, or if you do want to use Trade Skill Master, you're going to have to only be able to post them based on item level, and you're just going to have to consider all 4 of the variations the same. That means a crafting speed, a resourcefulness, a multi-craft, the other one, ingenuity. You're all going to have to consider them the same, and you will undercut any of the variations. There's not really a way around that, unfortunately, with the bonus ID system. Bonus ID system, for reference, is when an item is created. I can show you, actually. When an item is created, there is the item ID, which is usually a 6-digit number, which is to define what that item is, and then there's the bonus ID system, which is lots of little extra IDs that get tagged onto the end of it, which define different things. They define the item level, they define the stats on them, they define if there's a tertiary stat like speed or leech or something. They define if there's a socket on it. There's lots of these little bonus IDs that get tagged onto the end of an item ID. And so this causes there to be often hundreds of different variations of a single item, which is fine. It's fine, but it's not necessarily convenient from a TSM perspective. Why did that not zoom? So you can see if we can zoom in on this. This is, zoom in, you son of a. So we can see here that this is a fishing hat. You've got the item ID, which is this 6-digit code here. And then you've got all these bonus extra IDs that get tagged onto the end of it. Now, all of these mean loads of different things. But it means when you try and put things in a group with TSM, or when you go to the auction house to try and undercut other artisan fishing hats, if you put this item in a group and you say, I want to undercut this specific item, it will only undercut other items that have exactly the same bonus IDs. This, for example, is the level of the character that created it. Kind of useless, isn't it? For the end, you know, the end result is that nobody cares what an artisan's fishing hat. Like, the person buying it doesn't care what the level of the player was that crafted it. Nobody cares. But it's Blizzard, for some reason, in their infinite wisdom, decided that that's information that they should tack on to the end of every single item that's crafted. This is why Trade School Master developed the item group by item level. Grouping by item level basically ignores nearly all of this extra guff, ignores all of this, and just looks at the item level of the item and the name of the item, and then undercuts ones with the same item level. Why was it possible in the War Within? Did something change, or is it just a lot of work to implement? Well, it's an excruciating amount of work, because every single item can have hundreds and hundreds of different variations, and TSM has to basically go through and say, right, ignore all of this stuff, which is why, for the most part, they don't do it. Or, even if they do, it takes them an awful long time to go through and do it all. So as far as grouping stuff within TSM, we basically have to just group stuff by item level and be happy with it for now, at least. It's not changing anytime soon. Was the conclusion of the discussions I had yesterday. Is it Sulo or Alma next to the wall? Sulo's in the main house with Mrs. Manthius. So that will be Alma Lambs. That'll be Alma Lambs. Why is the chat looking all funky weird? Dunno. Yeah, the Alma and Nipsa are in the studio with me today. He's all chilling. He's asleep. And hey, Nebses. Good girl. Good girl. Don't look too closely. The studio's a mess. Ain't cleaned it in ages. How do you manage? What's this? Separate TSM profiles, one with a base item level for guild bank transfers and another profile for specific item level for then selling. Yeah, I mean, that's one way to do inventory management for sure, yeah. It's not as simple. Sometimes the item string references a table and then some index which row to look up for stat scaling. It's just a mess to pass. Yeah, this is why I don't envy Trade School Master trying to fix all of this stuff. And it's also why I don't try and put together some TSM groups before the expansion even goes live, because I understand that there's absolutely no way that I won't have to go back and redo them again anyway. So do it right first time. And I just hack shit together for the first, hack it together for a while until enough stuff is fixed that you feel that you can build it out properly, which is kind of what I'm doing now. How do you use operations, for example, for the profession tools? I had to manually put the recipes with item IDs because it would always take the recipe for the lowest rank to calculate minimum price. Well, that is an indication that you've put it in. You've set up your groups wrong. When you set up groups for things like that, you want to make sure that you add them to group based on item level. This is the best for anything that has like 5 ranks attached to it. You want to make sure you put the items in group with this selected. Otherwise, if you do base item, it will just look at any item that has that name and undercut any item that has that name, which means your high rank stuff will undercut the low rank stuff, which is obviously what you don't want. So you've got to make sure you use the item level selector. I guess this is why the undermine usually takes a while to update new item variations too. Yeah, it's exactly why. The guys over at TSM have actually developed a tool that they can use, that they can plug item IDs in to try and, make all of this easier to deal with. But the problem is like most things in life, for as many rules as there are just as many exceptions to those rules. So even trying to make a tool to help you do it quicker is apparently quite challenging. I've put it in with item level. I think maybe it thinks it uses concentration, because I can see it in the crafting cost tab. No, you've not put it in with item level. I can tell you that. Or the worst thing is you've put it in with specific item. There's really only one option you should be using, and it's item level. If it's not doing what you think it's doing, remove the item from the group and do it again, because something's not right. Can you not just use the specific item option for crafted tool groups? No, because there's too many variations. Like I showed here, there's humongous. When you do a specific item, like an item crafted by a character level 81 has a different item ID to a character that crafted it at level 84. Now, the end result, nobody cares, but that information is tagged on to the crafted item and will differentiate based on stupid things like that. So you basically don't use, the only option you use is this item level one, basically. But anyway, I don't know how we got onto or even started that. I think I was trying to explain what I was doing and what we might end up doing a little bit more of today. I'm through about 6 of 8 professions, I think. Oh no, I need to finish tailoring. I've done 5. Blacksmithing, enchanting, inscription, jewel crafting, and leatherworking, I think I've done. A bit of tailoring is going to be needed. Where did I get to with tailoring? I think I was wrestling with these because there wasn't right versions of them. What have we got grouped up in garments so far? Nothing. So, courtly shoulders, for example, this is where I want to add all 5 variations of this in. We go base group. We select tailoring. Where's the tailoring group? Garments. Now we search for courtly, let's start with shoulders. The item level, TSM only knows of 2 variations so far. Let's fix that. Let's add the 2 14s, add the 2 10s, add the 2 07s, add the 2 04s, Add the 201s. Now, we ignore the one that says item level 44, because that's the base one. Now we take the actual item level variations, and we slam those in the group. Boom, go. That's the shoulders. Now we need to do the same for robes. This process, by the way, is the reason why nobody wants to do it themselves. Understandably so. This is the reason why nobody wants to put groups together themselves, and they always search for somebody to have already done it. And I can't lie, over the years, many people have looked at me to do it. Don't mind that. Just takes me time to do it. Because I like to do it right, and I like to do it right first time. Attention to detail. What are your thoughts on prospecting? Prospecting is just a utility build. It's a very useful tool to have. But it needs to be considered as just that. It's a tool. Prospecting, much like milling, you know, much like any intermediate craft, it's a utility build ultimately. It's you shouldn't really expect it to be the reason that it prints huge amounts of money by itself, but you should be able to use a prospecting build character to help you save crafting cost on things further down the line, such as gems, for example, or vials for alchemy, or any of the other things. So yeah, prospecting has to happen. Gems don't exist without prospecting happening. The thing you are going to have to be really careful of with prospecting is that you get your materials at the cheapest price. If you, you know, if you pay 20% more for your materials than you should do, then you're starting the race 20% behind, which means other people will clown on you and you won't make any profit. Gotta focus on those material prices. Gotta get your materials at the cheapest possible price. If you pay a premium for your materials, don't matter how good your professions are, you ain't gonna make any gold. Store manager Manthe came out for a second. Wait, what? What did I say? With green gathering finesse tools, I had my posting string to post at normal when the minimum price was below minimum. Meaning when rank 5s were below my chosen price, most likely crafting speed tools, I often still got sales at normal because I was posting only finesse. Yeah, there's a few ways you can sort of hack your way through the system to kind of make it do what you want it to do. But, you know, by design, it's meant to work a certain way. Oh, wait, hang on. I'm searching gloves. Shit, which one? See, this is what I've got to be super duper mega careful of. This is why I often don't do my TSM building on stream, because I start chatting about something and pay zero attention to what it is I'm trying to do. We're doing gloves. Here we go. Courtly gloves. And actually, having 16:9 widescreen mode on this main account makes this process much easier because I can stack all 3 windows next to each other comfortably. The auction house, the profession window, and my TSM stuff. Are you adding items from Auctionator? I'm using Auctionator to just quickly search for the items to populate Trade School Masters database. Because when you base group in TSM is in theory every item in the game, but it's only items that TSM has seen. When you first install Trade School Master, it's a blank canvas. It knows nothing, right? It knows nothing, and you have to show it things, and it learns that thing exists. So, for example, here when I search for a courtly helm, I know there's 5 variations of a courtly helm. I know that there's a rank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. TSM at the moment doesn't. TSM clearly hasn't been shown that there's 5 different variations of them. So what I'm doing is I have the profession window open, I have the auction house window open, and when I click search, this is an auctionator feature to quickly search for the items and then the materials. What I do is so that TSM sees that these items exist, I click on each one and I just hover over it. This creates a tooltip, a TSM tooltip from that item, and then it populates the base group with that item. So I can then select that to put it in a group. Is basically what I'm doing. An auctionator full scan doesn't populate enough for TSM to see them. It might do, but this is once again me being micromanagey to make sure that it's right first time. That it's not picked up something random incorrectly somewhere, right? You know, it's a verification really more than anything else. It's a process that I know I only ever really want to do once during the expansion, and so I don't mind taking a bit more time to do it properly once. Is the theory. Because as you can see, just searching for the items in Auctionator by default, no, doesn't populate them. It's not till you actually click on a category that it populates in here properly either. So you might be right, a full scan might do it, but I still probably wouldn't trust it and would still do it manually each time anyway. Right, yeah, TSM's only ever seen the 201 variation of the pants, for example. The 44 is the base item, which we ignore. So, same again, we need to... And the reason it's probably only seen the 201 variations is that my tailor could probably only craft those. If I hover over this, it should probably show me the 210 version. No, it still doesn't. So yeah, we gotta do it this way. It's finicky. It's slightly pain in the ass to do, which, like I said, once again, is why nobody wants to do it themselves. I've just been building my profile by adding them as I crafted them and had them in my bags. That is ultimately the safest way to do it, yeah. There's 2 different types of tooltips. I don't know I don't know how TSM describes these, but I just call them real and fake tooltips, right? When you've got the profession window open, for example, and you hover over an item, you see here the courtly pants, item level 210. This is what's referred to as a fake tooltip, or I call it a fake tooltip. It's a tooltip of an item that doesn't actually exist. It's a simulated tooltip. You then have a tooltip of an item that you actually hover over, and this is a real tooltip of an item that really exists. So when you're building your TSM group, it is smart to make sure that you're putting real items into the groups, if that makes sense. So yeah, the crafting an item first, then adding it to a group because it's a real item from your bags is a safe way to make sure that nothing goes wrong or breaks when you try and take it to the auction house. This is just the weird ins and outs of this entire system. Just one of those things that over the years I've just kind of learned how it all works. We've done pants though. Let's do belts. And of course, when you hover over an item in the auction house, this is creating a tooltip of a real item. This is where you can see plus verse, plus mastery, plus crit, plus haste, whatever. So these create like proper, what I call real tooltips. It's weird how it works, but we only can work with what we have to work with, you know? How often does the Undermine update? Trying to find some recipes. The Blizzard API updates once an hour. So in turn, you'll find that, yeah, all of your third-party things that pull from that Blizzard API will also usually update once an hour. What's going on here? Why is there only 4 sets of slippers on the auction house? That's going to screw me, isn't it? I might not get all variations of these then. 65, 68, 71, 74, 78. This sometimes happens because people get past the point of even being able to create the cheapest ones. So they just don't exist. Yeah, why is the one here, for example, Courtly Slippers 178? Why has it got a variation of them that believes it's a PvP item? Fucking hell is going on there? Increases item level to a minimum of 263 in arenas and battlegrounds. That's not right. So yeah, there's an example of one we shouldn't add to the group. You can also generate these so-called real tooltips from the TSM crafting window as well. What are we looking at? Slippers. Rank 2s, rank 3s. Rank 4s. Rank 5s would be what? 178? That's a real one. That's not. That's a real one. That's a real one. That's a real one. Okay, we can't seem to get TSM to correctly track the top tier ones. I mean, I could always just craft one, annoying as that is, to use 500 of my concentration just to craft one so I get a proper tooltip for a grouping. That's really mental. Don't really want to spend 520 concentration just to get this right, but it's going to annoy me if I don't. You know what's a better solution than that? Is I buy one. That's a better solution. Oh, sold some bags. Don't mind if I do. Casual 69,000 gold. Giggity. Oh. Okay, this is weird. Even the one in bags seems to be funky donkey. Fuck knows what's going on with that then. Right, fine. Most of it's in the gutter. It's normal to only make profit from concentration. It's not in the gutter at all. It's just people aren't trying hard enough. I know this is going to be really difficult to hear because everybody believes they're doing the right thing. Crafting isn't in the gutter. The economy isn't in the gutter. It's that there are people out there that are getting their materials 20-30% cheaper than everybody else, who are able to stranglehold the entire market and make everybody else think that everything's in the gutter. It's not the case. Not even remotely the case. If you buy your materials 30%, if you spend 30% more on your materials than somebody else, you start at a 30% loss that you've got to claw back just to break even. It used to be a few expansions ago that focusing on getting your materials cheap was like a high priority for people, and people like put a lot of time and effort into making sure they got their materials at the cheapest price. The region-wide auction house has made people lazy though, and has kind of as people have kind of forgot the importance of it. And I think it's the accessibility and the availability of materials on the region-wide auction house. The fact that they're always there, people have just kind of passively assumed that they're both always there, and the price that they pay is the same price that everybody else pays. And sure, in a vacuum, that's true, but the game isn't a vacuum. The game is a 24-hour-a-day live service, and it's very much the case that materials fluctuate up and down in price every hour of every day. And if you log on at 6 o'clock in the evening after your shift at work, or 9 p.m. at night when you've put the kids to bed or something, your materials are going to be outrageously more expensive at that time of the day than if you buy them at 5 a.m. in the morning. It's not that the economy's cooked, it's that you're getting cooked. And it's very difficult concept to explain to people, and it's even more difficult a concept for people to actually take it in and believe it. Because nobody works for free. This is the thing, right? It's not possible for everything to not be profitable. It's not possible. That would mean that everybody would have to be working for free. Like, it don't work. Nobody crafts anything. Like, people aren't playing charity. It's just that, there are ways and means to gain an advantage that some people are taking advantage of, and some people are also not. Having your professions in good order, fully leveled up, top tier tools, knowledge points in the right places. That's like an electrician turning up with his toolbox, right? If an electrician turns up to your house and says, "Can I borrow a screwdriver, please?" You look at them funny and you're like, "Are you for real? Why aren't you turning up with the tools?" It's the same with the crafting system, really. This is your tool to do a job. You still have to do the extracurricular stuff, which is make sure you get your mats at the best possible price. Otherwise, your tools are useless. Don't matter how good your tools are. You can have the shiniest toolbox in the world, but if you pay 30% more for your mats, you're actually scuffed. And it's not the economy's fault. It's not the fact there was an exploit on knowledge points' fault. It's that you bought your materials at the wrong price. So this is why I'm not really willing to humor this everything is broken doom and gloom anymore. It's just not true. Just not true. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another one that's claiming that it's a PvP item, weirdly. I wonder if the PvP stuff has a similar name, which is why it's causing it to go loopy doops. They probably do, don't they? Hmm. No, they don't even. I wonder why that's doing what it's doing. Okay, sure. Fine. Okay. Garments. In the woven category. Oh, the bandages. Ha! Lol. You know, got to be complete with this stuff. Early bird gets the cheap crafting mats. Drizzling Rose, you were in an absolute perfect spot. Because basically most materials are at their cheapest at 5 a.m, yeah. Mm. 5 a.m. Well, yeah. For me, 5 a.m. is a bedtime, not a get up time. I am not an early bird. I never have been. Never have been. Right, this profession gear. I've actually chosen to put profession gear in its own soul category since I'm actually now building my TSM profile more from a auctioning perspective, not a crafting perspective, because nobody fucking uses TSM to craft. And so having all the profession gear from all the different professions grouped up this way rather than them being scattered through 12 different profession groups made more sense to me. But we'll see what the feedback is on that. Bright linen alchemy, uncommon tailoring, rare tailoring. Hopefully I can get all of this sorted in the next couple of days, which will mean that I'll have a full TSM profile, hopefully to be able to share and distribute with people before the season starts. That's the plan, at least. Uncommon tailoring. Start with the bright linen alchemy apron. The advantage of doing this on a really big server like Draenor as well is that there's a strong chance that everything is on the auction house. Those in. Getting my UNAS 4 today. Too bad the hard drives don't turn up until Monday. Oh, new tech day. New tech day is always fun. New tech day is always fun. I mean, new computer day is literally the peak. But with the price of some components right now, can't imagine many people are doing new computer day too frequently. Look at the price variation on these. The rank 4 and the rank 5 ones basically are concentration requirements because tailoring is stupid. Whereas you can buy rank 1, 2, and 3 for like sub 50 gold a piece. Yeah, if you want. Rank 4 or rank 5, even basic green profession gear. Say hello to concentration. It's wild. This isn't going to change for a while either. It's going to take ages for tailors to get their knowledge points. Anybody an idea why Blizzard made the brilliant silver rod unobtainable? Once again, racials are giving a 1k advantage because they need the smaller finishing reagent at rank 5. Oh, for the blue one? There should be enough knowledge that you should be able to mass produce a rare one. There was a few epics. That required concentration. I don't think it's, to be honest, I don't think any of this is by any sort of real design. It just felt very much like, in the late stages of development of the professions. A, it was rushed. And B, there was just, lack of communication between individual dev. There's so many inconsistencies across the different professions. Like, same scenario again, where there is lots of rules, there is just as many exceptions. And the profession systems are absolutely fraught with inconsistencies. I don't think, like I said, I don't think it's particularly by design. Not that any of this stuff wasn't reported like 500 times on the beta, but... Well, this one's got a completely different name. Cooking Chapeau. Leatherworking being a Colteran allows you to swap out some of the more expensive materials for a finishing reagent. All others end up 1 skill point short. My theory on this is, why has this got the item level in the name? My theory on this is that if the margins on something are so tight that one material, plus or minus, is the difference between you making profit or not, I wouldn't go anywhere near that with a, I wouldn't go near that craft with a barge pole in the first place. That's an indication that there's a market there that is way oversaturated already and doesn't need anybody else piling in on it. Hence why my advice on racials is that don't worry about them. They're nice to have, but they're never mandatory. Decision to make it 1 knowledge point short is questionable. Well, that's the thing. It wasn't a decision. This is the thing. It's one of those things that just happened mostly by accident. And it's unfortunately an accident that is just a bit weird.
Let's make sweet profit together.
Scribbler TV has acquired themselves a gifty from an anonymous sub. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Anonymous. Right, we need spell threads. I'll finish Taylor. I'm certainly not planning on doing this all day, by the way. I just want to finish tailoring. Once tailoring's finished, we can move on and do actually something slightly more gold making-y. This is just prep and setup that I wanted to get finished at some point today. Spell thread should be easier. Bright linen spell thread. 2 are you. The bags group. Sunfire silk backpack. Arcano weave reagent bag. Right, there's all the bags. Wardrobe enhancements. These are all bind on pickup, aren't they? Or bind to warbound. It's good ass bind on pickup then. In that case, I'm not going to bother putting these in a group. There's no point. And nobody's selling them, so there's no point putting them in a group if nobody's going to be selling them. I guess you can get work orders on these, can't you? Probably get work orders on them. Have a screaming fox. Into lurk I go. Hey, thanks for the screaming fox. Appreciate it. Lots of posts on Reddit of people making bank on bags. Yeah, bags are good at the beginning of an expansion. Bags pop off, all the brand new characters. Interestingly, it's probably not going to be. It's not as big of a thing this time round because you don't need to buy like 7 bags for your bank anymore. You just need 4 bags for yourself. But yeah, bags always pop off. Okay, that's all of the items I've learned. Now what about all the items I haven't learned? These should be in the material groups. They are, yes. Arcano weave lining. Optional reagents. Arcano weave lining. Wait, why don't we have... Why is there no reference to these yet? There they are. Oh, drag and drop's working now. Good. Sunfire silk lining. Why is the Sunfire silk spell thread not in a group yet? Oh, because we've got a separate category for spell threads. That makes sense. These are Sparky Spark gears, so these don't need to go in groups. All Spark gear. Thalassian is all epic. Right, elegant stuff. This is all the rare stuff. Let's get all of this properly in bags. In groups, even. Rare tailoring. You'll be sharing your TSM groups with us mere mortals. There will be a freely public available version of just the group structure, yes. And I will make a premium version with customized operations available to my Patreons. That's usually the process I go. Artisans. What's hype today? Artisans alchemy coveralls. Why is there only 4 variations on the auction house? What are we missing? We're missing the 206 versions. Oh, I already know about the 206 version, Andy. Item level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tailoring. No, even less of these. Hello? Who stole me Longboy? Why did I get de-Longboyed? Oh, I went AFK. Going AFK apparently de-Longboyed me. Thanks for that, game. Can't get close to the crafting tables anymore. Yeah, I noticed that. They snuck that in the cheeky hotfix yesterday, didn't they? That you can't get within 10 yards of a crafting table on a Longboy now. I mean, in a way, it makes sense, right? Because it was flipping impossible to click on the damn table on some shards, so kind of makes sense. I can't even look at the item in TSM because I don't know the recipe for it. Ugh. Okay, well, this is just going to be an incomplete item then. Find a realm that's got... Hey. Wait. Why is the 232s but not like the 225s? 218, 212, 232, 206. 6, 12, 18. Am I missing the 225s? Wow, that's really annoying. Why has nobody crafted a 225 elegant artisan's cooking hat on my realm? How inconsiderate. Where does this come from? 150 Moxie. Tailoring still has a little spot behind it in the corner under the... Does it really? Oh, you tried to find out where the barriers are for it. Of course. Of course. So many people spamming trade chat for the tailoring crafts, but nobody can do it because the skill stoves spread out throughout the nodes. Yeah, it's made all tailoring builds are about 65 knowledge points more expensive than they should be. I don't think they should have put any skill points in the fabric specialist tree. The fact that they buried a bunch of skill points in this tree is ludicrous. This is meant to be the farming cloth tree. There's no reason for any plus skill to be nested in this tree whatsoever. If they got rid of the plus skill from in here, I mean, it's all too late for this now, but if they got rid of the plus skill from here, you'd save about 65 knowledge points. That's the reason why nobody's got flipping rank 5 guaranteed anything yet. Everything rank 5 in tailoring has to use concentration, which is flipping a nightmare for clothies, but hey, deal with it, clothies. It's usually plate wearers that get fisted. Clothies this time round. Sorry, I've just punched my entire desk. All 5 versions of those. A fishy fish hat. I should flipping pick up some of these recipes by the looks of things. Serious gaps in the market for these. Top tier one, sure, but dare I say the 225s priced 5,000 gold less would probably still sell. I'm somewhat surprised there's 232s, and more surprised actually that there's so many of them. These have to be made with concentration. That means there's at least 13 people on this realm that have this recipe and have spent concentration on it, and are yet still only selling it for like 24,000. I suppose the materials aren't that expensive, are they? There's a 5k crafting cost, which means people are getting what, 20k out of probably 500 concentration. It's actually pretty top tier use of concentration right now, isn't it? Don't get the chase for rank 5 profession tools, the same skill, only a small stat difference. Once again, it kind of refers back to a lot of what I was talking about earlier. People believe the only real area to gain an advantage is in your tool, you know, in your profession setup. That anything other than absolute BIS max build, you're not likely to see profit, which is partly true, but it is only, in my opinion, a fraction of the actual story. You can have some cracks in your armor if you are focusing on getting your materials cheap as possible. If you can get a 20% discount compared to most of your competition on your materials by buying them at the right time of the day, you're you can afford to have, you know, the odd rank 4 tool here or there. Okay, spell thread. Can I weave spell threads? You and you in there. Sunfire spell threads. Decor. Not much decor for tailoring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 recipes. Do I already have some? No. Really not that many recipes. I suppose I've just done inscription, haven't I? That's got like 15 of them or something stupid. So I guess it makes any of the professions feel like there's less. The latency I have to play with means I deserve to buy mats when they're cheap. Yeah. Winter ores and so on cheapest in the UK. Yeah, 3 to, middle of the night, basically. Somebody said the 600 artisan security boxes gave raid recipes again. Copy paste expansion. Yeah, they do. Yeah, the Moxie bags give recipes, and that includes the raid ones. Zanzaful bought one. Which one was it? One the Sunfire Silk one. This one maybe. I think these are Zanzaful was posting these the other day. Clearly got competition on them now though. Decor. New group for tailoring. Lush Silver Moon bed. Silver Moon pillow. Good money in all this decor, to be fair. I'm telling you now, the long play for this expansion with crafting is absolutely decor. Absolutely 100%. I've been saying it since decor launched. I can't wait until enough people realise that I'm not chatting rubbish here. What? How? Lush Telegris? How the hell do you say that? That looks like it's a flipping spelling mistake. I mean, the profit in some of this decor still. And I'm on Draenor. Draenor being one of the biggest realms in the entire region, and there's 6 of these on the auction house. Like, it's wild. Void Strider saddlebag. There's only 9 of these. Isn't this recipe like 10 gold or something stupid? The recipe for this is like basically free. Once again, clearly just nobody cares. Was it take 16 pieces of lumber? Sells for 20k at the moment. You got 10k worth of mats in there in terms of bolts. So there's 8,000 gold profit for 16 lumber. That's 500 gold for lumber still. like people are snoozing on this. Snoozing real hard. It's literally the thing that's going to make money this entire expansion. People aren't buying these decors much, at least yet. Oh, I bet they are. Bet they are. With the Dun-Duns dropping from patron order satchels, I'm holding on to them until I'm no longer capped. That's actually quite clever. Quote unquote, only got 90k worth of dawn crystals and petrified roots out of my latest enchanter's moxie bag. 90k worth of dawn crystals and petrified roots. Damn. What are dawn crystals rocking? $5k a piece still. You get high quality stuff out of those bags and all, don't you? What, are you getting like 20 dawn crystals or something out of these? 10 dawn crystals out of them or something? Not bad for 600 moxie, is it really? Right, I'm not doing the PvP stuff yet, because PvP gear doesn't exist. Because we still can't seem to get these heraldries. I guess these don't switch on until the season starts. Which means trying to put groups together for this stuff is futile, because they don't exist. The recipes do, but we'll do an update to the PvP gear when it's available. Kind of odd that they've kind of odd that these aren't available at all yet, but it is what it is. Right, I think that's tailoring finished then. That means that's 6 out of 8 of the professions covered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of the 8 crafting ones. I need to do cooking as well. Cooking, alchemy, and engineering to go. And then the group structure at least is finished. 10 dawn crystals, 5 roots. Damn. That'll do. That would have been even more spicy when the roots were 15k a piece. Holy. By the time those heraldries are available, everybody will have honor gear and those will be worthless. My theory on the PvP gear has always been that it's very rarely PvPers that buy it. You're kind of missing the vast opportunity that is anybody that dings level 90 and has done it in a way that has not been like playing the game naturally. 181, you know, like the item level of this stuff goes up to what, 188? 188 item level may not be fantastic, but it at least is, you know, if you ding level 90 and you've done it by like herbing and mining, for example, you've still got flipping half your war within gear on. All of a sudden, item level 188 gear that you can just buy off the auction house looks real spicy. Even if it does nothing more than just bump your item level, so all of your world quests and everything start increasing their item level as well. I'm convinced that 90% of the green PvP gear that gets crafted and gets sold doesn't go anywhere near PvP. It's just good item level for a freshly dinged level 90. That's all that matters. I don't think its item level is high enough now to well, you need like 211 or something to even do heroics, don't you, these days? So it's not super valuable, but once we start seeing like 80 to 90 boosts being sold and, you know, people dinging 90 doing basically no content, 181 that can just be bought off the auction house basically for free is quite attractive a lot of the times. That said, assuming you are going to ding level 90 and just go to the auction house, what are your other options right now? Where's it going to sit? Ah, see, now this might be your problem. This might be your problem, that the basic gear, the basic crafted gear is higher item level. And also basically free. At least for the purpose of cloth. Yeah, this might cause these to be a little bit more dead on arrival than they normally would do. How's it look for the other? Basic smuggler's set. Yeah. These are also cheap to make, though, mind, but even all the, well, at the moment, all of the tarnished stuff is also really cheap. Yeah, these might be a little bit. Yeah, these might be a little bit dead on arrival. We'll have to see how that plays out. But you know, still the logic is that I don't think any of this goes anywhere near PvP. To be honest, 220 BOEs are still selling very well. Oh, I bet they are. 220 BOEs are literally the highest item level stuff you can just go to the auction house and buy. So yeah, there's no denying that stuff will do really well. The fact that you can literally get world quests giving you 230 plus item level gear, like it shows that this is convenience and this is player laziness. This is players ding level 90 and want to do absolutely nothing, but then step straight into their M0s. They don't want to spend an hour doing world quests. They don't want to spend another hour running a few heroics. To some people, they'll go to the auction house and spend 100k on a bunch of 220 gear and just GG, well done, job done, you know. Convenience tax once again. Convenience tax is big. Right. I actually need to do something that's considered playing the game, but I'm going to take a quick bathroom break, then we'll poke around and see what's going on. I'll be back in 2. Alrighty. Since I'm on my mage, I've actually got stuff I probably need to do on this mage. One thing I need to do is get my dun-duns. Got to get my dun-duns, got to get my treasures. Apparently I've got tailoring work orders that need doing on this character as well. Have I not done work orders on my tailor? Only 2 of 3. Let's maybe spend a little time getting this tailor sorted for the week. Flipping holy work orders. I don't think you should be able to put in work orders for these cooldown bolts, you know? Not sure that should be a thing. Feels a bit cheeky, that one. Oh, hello. Holy gold, Batman. Wink. Don't move, don't move, don't move. Are high quality herbs needed for next week? Do alchemists need the high quality? For example, I have 3 to 4k pieces of Azaroot and looking forward to sell it for maybe 300 gold. Can't that happen? If alchemists want to craft high quality stuff en masse, then yeah, they need the high quality herbs. The only other way is with concentration, which will not fulfill demand. Never get the dun-duns from skinning. You can. They're just not very frequent. I still think you'd be better off. Well, I mean, if you go to one of the more popular skinning spots and quickly jump in a group or something, or get onto a shard where there's some 2x4 farming happening, you'll be able to leech a bunch of skinning, you know. You'll get your dun-duns nice and fast that way. Let's check inscription since we're here. We'll go look for some treasures. Nothing that I'm really considering doing, but they're cheap enough that I'll do them for the knowledge point and the moxie. Oh, all my other realms are disconnected. Am I going to put these to any use? Not short term, no. Let's log these out. Load them up later if we need them. War mode treasures is the way. It's probably a quick way to do it, yeah. Wait, hang on. Okay, that should be my weekly tailoring quest done as well. Yoink. I get 12 pieces of high quality copper ore from one of those goodie bags. Hello. Yoink. I did. 12 pieces of high quality copper. Thank you very much. Right. Go get some treasures. Fishing is the fastest for the dun-duns in my experience. I mean, I've actually just used the pool in the middle of the city just to fish up my dun-duns on a couple of characters. But when I really can't be bothered to leave the city. There's a what's the word? There's a compromise to be made. You know, a bit of laziness. I'll pay a premium for a bit of laziness. Don't have to leave the city. Sure, it might take 5 minutes more, but whatever. Wombo combo right now though. Try find some treasures. Get some treasures. Get some dun-duns. Fuck, we might even do some abundance on this tune. Might even do some abundance. Where the hell is this treasure? There it is. Hey, cheeky dun dun. We've only got the one account open. We can crank it. You can fish up some of the more expensive fish from the pool in the city too. Like gore guppies and stuff, yeah, because they're considered a common one. Just going to make it my goal to start with no dun-dun each week. And then if I get them passively from Treasure's patron bags, if I'm still missing some at the end of the week, I'll fish in the Silver Moon. I mean, long term, that's the kind of way to do it. But of course, if it's the exclusion to that rule is going to be the week where you can afford to buy something. Because you want to then, if it's a week where you are going to, technically this week, for example, if you had done some dun-dunning in early access, this would be one of those weeks where you would absolutely prioritize doing it ASAP, because then you get your epic and you get the advantage of that epic for, you know, as early as possible. But on the off weeks where you're not going to be able to afford something, yeah, just kind of like play the game. And then by Tuesday, if you're still missing some, go bang out the weekly. The weekly gives you 2. Which means you actually only really need to farm 6 of them. Oh, you're not a real treasure. To dun-dun or not to dun-dun? That is the question. It is a question. I need to switch rare finder on, don't I, really? Otherwise I have to, like, perma watch my flipping minimap. I haven't done my skinning dailies today, actually, either. I should set up a few more characters with skinning. I've been hard slacking on this, and I tend to think it's such easy win, 50k gold every day. I'm kind of stupid for not doing it. Instead of peons going, work, work, they'll be saying, done, done. Yeah. Tis true. Now, why did that not show up as a treasure on my map? What's going on there? Does that mean there's somebody like 5 yards ahead of me that have literally just picked that up? I had to spot that with my own eyes. Same on the skinning. I've done the skinning dailies like twice. It's stupid because it's such quick and easy gold once you've got it set up that there's basically no excuse for not doing it. But it's always one of those things I kind of forget. Once I've got it set up like properly on all of my characters, we should just make it a task of the first hour of the stream every day is just bang out every single character's skinning daily. Get it done. Wait, why do I not have... Where's me fishy fish skill? Where's me fishy fish button gone? That is my fishy fish button. Why is my fishy fish button not fishy fishing? There we go. Oh, how convenient that you've placed a lure as I happen to fly past. The amount of people camping them's funny. But it's... if you do it on a... The weird thing is the price of the lures is now kind of... The price of the lures kind of dictates that people have to almost leech them off others. Because the gore guppies especially are still like stupid money. Like, the fact that there's probably only about a 20% chance for you to get a majestic, that means that you probably might have to place 5 lures before you get one. You can't afford to spend 3,000 gold on your lure when the majestic only sells for 7. It's, you know, it just doesn't actually make sense to single character farm it. So players are kind of forced to group together or leech off others to get them. It just sucks to be the one guy that places the lure, because if they don't get it, they lose. 2k lure at the moment? Yeah, exactly. That's not really... It's almost cost prohibitive for single account Andys to be doing it. I'm chilling, because I get 5 times the value out of every lure. But most people don't. And so hence actually just like waiting around leeching them is kind of the play. What's the girl name of a single account Andy? Andy can be a female name. Andie. Female variation. At least the 2 Voidstorm lures are like 5 gold a piece. The Grand Beast lure is probably the cheapest of all of them. I'm actually speccing my skinners to try and get 40 knowledge points. So that they can move to do the Grand Beast lure rather than any of the others. That's my long term. Got to get the abundance one out the way. I literally fell asleep doing abundance yesterday on my paladin. I can't begin to, like, it's one of those weird things. It's like this is probably a sign of being diabetic or something, but like sometimes you'll just like bang a Red Bull or not back a Red Bull or a Monster or something, and then 20 minutes later you just fall asleep in a coma. I'm sure there's some medical reason why that's not healthy, but it feels the same with the abundance. You're like, this is absolute chaos. This should be the most stimulating thing that's ever happened in my life ever. Like 5,000 flipping treasure dun-duns and bubbles all over the place. Like this should keep you absolutely wired. But for some reason, after 5 minutes of doing dun-duns, I'm ready for a nap. Like, my body's like, right, I'm turning off now. Switching off for the day. Genuinely nearly fell asleep yesterday doing them on my paladin. Abundance causing medical issues, clearly. Yeah, something's not right. Plus, I've had to turn off voice lines. Because, oh my god. The repetitiveness of that was on another level. Dialogue volume at 0, please. I get Haribo comas, can't touch those sweets. I mean, that is a sign of diabetes, clearly. Something's not right there. That is a hard sugar crash. Something ain't right with that. Haribo Star Mix, though. That stuff is deadly. I know what you mean. Absolutely deadly. Eat it by the fistful. Then take a nice sugar nap after. Come on, treasures. Could also be due to the fact that it is overstimulating. Some people, their brains just shut off when it's too much. I mean, maybe. The thing is it's both super duper mega stimulating and incredibly boring because you're not doing it. Like, it's craziness, but you're not doing anything. It's like an oxymoron for your brain, and clearly mine just doesn't know how to process it. Can't work out why this thing that's like punching you in the face is also the most boring, mind-numbing experience at the same time. Come on, one more. I need a Phoenix ink, and then we're kind of done. We're capped on our 8 dun-duns, so we're going to need to do some dun-dun runs in a minute as well. Put this theory to test. Oh, that's not a proper treasure. That's not a real treasure. You're not a real boy. Being forced to raid group it. Yeah. It turns out that I mean, you know, the gamers have done gamer things, and it seems to be that about 15 players is the optimum. 15 works well enough because there's enough to basically guarantee 900 points. But there's not so many that it causes like massive lag spikes and crashes. But of course, you're always risking against coming up against another raid group of 15, and then it starts to get a bit hairy. It's a recreational drug, cooks you at adrenals. Well, maybe. There is a sense of irony in it being called abundance, though. When I literally want to do as little of it as humanly possible. Whoa, Streamlabs, chill with the spam, man. Holy. Sorry, chat. You're getting absolutely bombarded for 30 seconds there. It was not my intention. Streamlabs has the tendency of spamming all of his notifications in one go. I think it's worth skilling 10 points into a tree I'm not using at the moment to unlock a recipe to do. No. No. Never, ever, 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 ever spend a knowledge point that you don't deliberately need to spend. There's not enough of them going about. You're pissing your entire profession's advantage up the wall for the sake of a patron order. Absolutely not. Streamlabs got to go do dun-duns. That's it, you tell him. Come on, I haven't even found a treasure in like flipping out. I could have fished this damn Oh, hello. I saw something that looked treasury. Oh, this is the one-time fishing thing. I need to send all of these to my alts, actually. Abyss Angler's fishing log. Oh, this one only increases it by 3. Cheeky. The rare item you can find from the pools increases it by 10. Still not capped on fishing on my main either. That might be a task for... That's a Friday evening job, that is. That's one of those, have a pizza on the side, a couple of cold beers in the fridge, and just play with your rod all evening. Forty out of 40 majestic materials, not one epic reagent drops today. Oops. Oops. Get RNG'd, son. I was digging this playlist, but we're getting far too much flipping girly emo shit. Nothing wrong with Paramore, but just not really my vibe today. Right, come on, game. One more treasure. We're even in flipping war mode here. Try and eke out a few more bonus treasures. I'm gonna drop this treasure farming like it's hot, though, on most professions, I think. It was alright on the beta. You could get the 4 treasures in like 10 minutes. Almost guaranteed every time. They done fucked about with the drop rates, though, for live, clearly. For Harandar, Eversong and ZA seem to be empty. I have wondered this, you know. I have wondered if there's some sort of event or trigger that puts more treasures up in a certain zone at a certain period of time for certain reasons. It's all kind of, you know, it's flat earth theory a little bit, but I half believe it. I'm in that kind of sunk cost fallacy, though, now. I need one flipping profession thing. I'm not going to start changing my strategy. Need to apply the gambler's mentality. You're always, you know, you're always one bet away from the jackpot. So if I start trying to fly to a different zone to try and find some other treasures, I'll, you know, I'll miss the one treasure that'll have it here. Not spotting any cheeky treasure pools either with fishing. Big unlocks today. They do cycle the treasures in the zones. The main problem is the loot bug. You can't see the treasures once somebody loots them. Yes, true. Yeah, the mini-map icon disappears, don't they? Oh, son of a bitch. Go on. Never lucky. I mean, I quite often, like, spot one with my own eyes that doesn't have a minimap icon. And it's because somebody has clicked it, like, 30 seconds before. Most Eversong treasures won't appear until you pick a faction at the party event. Is that the case? I need to do some of these more endgamey things. Obviously, we've all done our fair share of abundance, but there is 3 other mini games we can be tinkering with. The problem is that this is quite a popular. These treasure farms are quite popular for 220 BOEs as well. So, you know, it's not so much a case of that it's only people like me trying to get profession knowledge points that are doing them. You got random Joe just flying around the map, like making 60k an hour. These treasures anyway. So they're kind of being hoovered up quite aggressively. This is another one of those things that if I wasn't so adverse to multi-boxing in the open world, I'd be multi-boxing the shit out of this right now. Hopping between 5 different shards, just doing a, you know, put a route together, put a lap together, do a lap, shard hop, do another lap, shard hop, rinse and repeat, 1,000,000 gold an hour. I get kind of edgy at the moment, even about leveling my skinners in a 5-man team. Even just logging them on to kill the to do the lure thing gives me funny mojo at the moment. Go away, crab. Shit. Oh, for fuck's sake. Do I have invis spect? I bet I don't. If I do, I have no idea where my button for it is. Oh, come on. Never lucky. To be fair, doing this on a low-level character is not bad for the sort of twink tarnished versions as well. Because, you know, even freshly dinged level 80s, those remix tunes that have, like, 90 item level could quite do with a few thousand golds worth of cheeky 133s before they start their leveling journey, for example. Straight in with the poppy cam and the follow. Pipsa, thank you very much. Nips is fast asleep. Amlams is fast asleep. Snoozing. She's a completely different colour in the sunlight. It's really funny. She's a chameleon dog. Nipsu is obviously not a chameleon. Solo doesn't have his cone on anymore either. He got deconed yesterday. He's boy oh boy was he happy about that. He did backflips around the kitchen for about 20 minutes when we took his cone off yesterday. I mean, you'd be pissed off if you had to have a plastic cone around your neck for a week, so... Embrace the Friday feeling. Well, his last Friday, his Friday feeling was, you know, a vet chopped his nuts off. So he probably didn't have the best Friday feeling last week. So he was he was a happy puppy to have his cone taken off. We shouldn't really have taken it off until tomorrow, but he broke it twice. Kept smashing it into things and had broken it, so... Oh, come on. Where's this last damn treasure? Damn game. This is taking me longer than it's going to take me to do dun-dun runs on this character as well. We're at the point where there's literally, like, 2 hours of just, like, busy work. That doesn't really amount to much, but you kind of have to do it on your crafters to stay up to speed. And it is literally that. It's just busy work. Repetitive busy work. I really can't express just how much I'm falling out of love with the crafting system. Trying to keep the negativity to a minimum. I don't even mind the fact that it's competitive. In fact, that's the one aspect of it that I really do quite like. That it is competitive, and if you do think outside the box and you do go the extra mile, there is still the opportunity to make absolutely ridiculous gold with it. But the busy work, the chores... I'd kind of forgot about this from the launch of The War Within. So I very quickly decided I'm just not doing it in The War Within as well. Understandable why they're weary of going to the vet. Yeah, this is one thing we need to do with Solo for the next, like, couple of days. He needs car rides that do not end up at the vet. We need to, you know, put him in the car. Mrs. Manthius is actually taking him to her sister's later today. So it's a car ride, which means he'll have to have his harness on and he'll go in the car. But, it, you know, it's going to go to a dog park, and he's then going to go and get to play at, you know, sister's house. So, you know, we got to do some positive vibe trips. So he doesn't always think that going in the car is like, I'm going to the vets. I am starting to think I'm on, like, my 12th lap now. Oh, there's a treasure. Somewhere. The abundance change killed my desire to do it on alts. Yeah, it's difficult, because right now, it's a big thing, right? As of right now, like, getting your epic tool, for example, is a monstrous advantage. You know, for a build that utilizes multicraft, it's the equivalent of about 4% extra multicraft, which is humongous. In terms of crafting cost, that's a really big reduction in crafting cost overall. Which, when we know the markets are competitive, that huge extra reduction in crafting cost is probably likely to be the difference for many people between, you know, profit or not. Even if you are being savvy, getting your materials at a cheap price and so on and so on. So at the moment, the abundance and getting your epic tool first, at least, is the highest of importances. But it's one of these problems that will fix itself very quickly. Because next week it will be less important, and the week after that it will be less important still. And, you know, it is just one aspect of the crafting system. So it's annoying that it's in the state that it is, but it is one of those things that will just slowly but surely fix itself. It's just a bit of a chore fest at the moment, unfortunately. It's like from a I've got to be careful about my feedback on the abundance system, really, because I'm one of the biggest advocates for there being like actual gameplay style systems for the professions. I like the Legion vibe. I like the Legion vibe of there being like, you know, some sort of like world content progression storyline, this sort of stuff with professions. I'm a big advocate for that. I'm a big fan of it. I really think they need to do more of it. And so, you know, part of me is like, oh, this this abundance, it had incredible potential. I just feel that the potential is not really what players were looking like. Another flipping AFK got to do in a raid Zergfest isn't really the gameplay activity that I'm looking for in professions. You know, I'd if it was more Mage Tower styly, you know, you go in there, it's solo, it's normalized gear, it's Mage Tower-esque, some sort of skill based. That I think is kind of quite cool. But as an AFK Zergfest, it's not my cup of tea. Let us do one run, use 8 shards, 8 times the reward. Well, I kind of think that they gotta put some catch up to it, right? The sheer quantity of unalloyed abundance that you need to get 6 epic. What's the maths on it, right? You got, what's the maths on it? You need 20, and they're 800 apiece. And you, in theory, on a single character, could easily want at least 6 for your 2 professions. That's 96,000 unalloyed abundance for a single character. Which is literally months of doing flipping abundance. Optimally every single week. Which is going to create a position again that, let's look at what happens in Season 2. What happens to all the crafters that want to pick up a new profession in Season 2? Are they just fried? Are they just, 96,000 unalloyed abundance behind with no way to catch up with this? Are they just, are they just going to have to be content that they're just not going to have epic tools when everybody else is running around with epic tools? They kind of theory have to put some catch up in this, don't they? There's no. We had the argument with knowledge points that there needed to be a catch up system for knowledge points, so they gave us one. Admittedly, not a great one, but at least they gave us one. You can't start people off 90. By the time that people have got the ability to get this and are running around with their full epic profession gear, somebody that picks up a new profession at a later date is just cooked. They've got, they're set up to fail. They're destined to fail. They will never be able to, regardless of how hard they try, catch up. That's why catch-up systems exist. So they're gonna have to do something. Whether it be that they unlock like the 8 becomes a stacking thing, so you get, you know, your seasonal cap goes from like 8 to 16 to 32 to 64, whatever. Or they do like what was said, give you the ability to just, I mean, even giving you the ability to do all 8 of your runs like in one go doesn't actually really, that's not any sort of catch up, is it? It just means that if you're late to the party, you can do your weekly stuff a touch quicker, but you're still always going to be miles behind. So they got to do something. The problem is I don't think it was very thoroughly thought through, because it was clearly a rush job. Anybody notice that they've changed the Moxie tooltips in a hotfix today, by the way? to no longer say that they're used for crafting profession tools. Which I thought was very funny. We were like 2 weeks into the expansion and they've only just got round to changing those tooltips. Goes to show just how rushed it was before the launch. I am actually starting to go a little bit stir crazy not getting this last treasure, by the way. Inscription decor crafting was the best old world farm for me, specifically Dragonflight set upwards. Decor is a cash cow. Decor is an absolute cash cow. It is going to be this expansion's goal maker. Without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, for all intensive purposes, it already is. It's just, you know, most people haven't realised yet because most people didn't put 2 and 2 together when Decor launched. Serious full-time goblins clearly did, because, you know, they're the kind of players that were still playing at that point in the expansion. But your more fair weather goblin has yet to realise that Decor is an absolute cash cow. Can I obtain decor items even if I don't own Midnight? Yep. It's a base game system housing. They only bundled it in with Midnight to sell early access, but it's a base game feature. One tune, I got all 4 treasures. There's another one. It's taken. I mean, I don't know how long I've been flying around this zone for. It's literally the best part of an hour I've been flying around this flipping zone looking for these 4 treasures now. But 2 inscription points. I'm absolutely going to sack off this adventure as quick as I get. As soon as I get full build, we sack off the weekly treasures. That said, fun fact, I think I actually am full build on my... Wow, okay. I kind of am, but kind of not. My scribe, for example, is fully spec'd into making the quills. But in theory, I'm not full build until I'm also doing the mixing rods and the rolling pins. It's kind of like, this is kind of one build for me. You won't be able to farm lumber, though, without Midnight. As to learn, lumber is inside housing, which requires Midnight. I'm pretty sure that's not true. You needed the base version of Midnight pre-order, but I'm not sure you do anymore. But I mean, it might be. I don't know. It's just a very, very small percentage of players that don't even have midnight. Here's a crazy idea: get midnight. I'm pretty sure you can be building a house and flipping doing the whole shebang without actually having midnight. It was just a way to sell pre-orders for the expansion. Goldson's crashed out. I mean, it's not a Friday without a Goldson crash out. Does the day end in Y? You never needed to pre-order or buy midnight. It's been accessible to anybody with the War Within since the launch of housing. Just a scam by Blizzard, making you think that you needed it, but you don't. It was the fun thing for me. Welcome in, Elon, by the way. The fun thing for me was that in the early previews of housing, even Ian himself was on record stating that housing was a completely separate feature from this expansion. And they actually tried to go as far as to market it as such as well. That they were trying to market that housing is a like fully evergreen feature that's completely separate from the launch of the expansion. But clearly the money makers at Blizzard were like, no. We need to sell as many copies of Midnight as we possibly can. This is the biggest feature we've launched into the game in 20 years. You absolutely have to bundle it in with the expansion. And so then all of a sudden, all of the marketing started to change, and we started to see Midnight logos slapped all over decor and all sorts of stuff. There was clearly a money decision made in the sort of like pre-alpha, just before alpha came out for the War Within. All their marketing for housing completely changed. When you know life this game like I do, you spot these little subtleties over time. The only thing you can't do without Midnight is build your own house. But you can learn the decor and stuff. Yeah, like I said, most of it is like fully baseline. Hey, finally. Stupid Phoenix Inc. Right. After that fun and games, do we done? Do we done, or we done, or do we don't? We done or done don't? I mean, we gotta do it, haven't we? Fun fact, this is the character that doesn't look at all the pissing treasures on my map now, by the way. Somebody was talking about this the other day, and I apologize because I can't remember who it was. But I am convinced there's some truth to this. Now, I'm not all for tinfoil hats too often, but I'm convinced soon as these treasures fuck off your, once you've got them all, I am almost convinced that all of a sudden you start seeing 12 times as many treasures on your minimap. It cannot be a placebo effect. It cannot be. I'm convinced of it. How long was I flying around trying to get that last goddamn knowledge point? Not a conspiracy. They really are out to get you. Clearly. Right. To done. Anybody else want to accompany me with the dun? Oh, hang on. I've just realised I got war mode on. I got to switch that off before we do dun-dunning. Flipping out. Anybody know what the fastest leveling option is for alts from 72 to 80? Didn't play for a while, missed the pre-patch event. 72 to 80? I wouldn't know what it is now. You're right, it was the pre-patch event. You could absolutely blast 72 to 80. I don't have a clue, if I'm honest. I've done my dun-duns this week. I assume a lot of people have. What happened with Jeff? What do you mean, what happened with Jeff? He was giving an ultimatum that he couldn't deal with what would result in thousands of folks losing. What were we talking about? What have I missed here? Jeffo. Oh, did you see the interview with Jeff Kaplan? I did not. Jeff Kaplan wasn't he lead encounter designer? I can't remember. There's a lot of them. Exploration's pretty good even without being in Earthen. It's a 5-hour interview. Oh, Jesus. I ain't got 5 hours to watch an interview. Oh, game director for Overwatch. See, I knew the name. I knew he was important at Blizzard. Then moved on to Titan Overwatch. I see. Yeah, now I know who we're talking about. Oh, I nearly searched for Dun then. Abundance, war mode off, 15 man. Go. $19 years in Activision is a lot. 19 years doing anything anywhere is a lot. We've got 4 people in this group. Let's pad the numbers a little bit before we start running. Got walk the dogs. It's a full-blown storm outside. It's really windy here as well today. I don't know what's up with Mother Nature. But yeah, aye on that one. My 14th year in your current job. Good effort, that is. And I've never done anything for 14 years. Oh no, that's a lie. I have been with Mrs. Manthias for 19 years. My longest commitment to anything ever. Stepped inside this place and I'm instantly down to 30 FPS. I promise I'm not going to complain about frame rates for the next 30 minutes. I'm going to be a good boy. Do you know what the resource multicraft modifiers are? The tooltips are generic, quote-unquote, save extra materials, so you can't figure out the maths. Trying to avoid mass crafting stuff and logging results. I do know them, yes. You are right when you say the tooltips are generic, though. Good vibes only. That is the plan. That is the plan. It's a 15-man raid group, but it doesn't feel like one. Why is our public altar contribution not going Zerg mode? There's usually a permanent flipping elephant on the floor here. Why for that? See, mobs are greying out as well. I swear they've done some cheeky tune into this again. Right, I have a horrible feeling we haven't even got past the 1500 abundance bag. How? Okay, well, we still did get 900 unalloyed. Okay, that felt worryingly weak sauce. Very worryingly weak sauce. You mentioned something at some point they changed something with resourcefulness refunds. Nothing has been changed. There are nodes in some spec trees that improve the resourcefulness refund now, which haven't always been a thing. But the base rates haven't changed. Where's he gone? Where's my rat friend? Rat friend's coming this way. Yo, this Dun Dun needs to be a mount, by the way. I want a glowing green rat mount. I want Dun Dun mount. I think that's the only thing that will the only saving grace of this the entire event. I want a Dun Dun mount. I want to ride that bitch with pride that I suffered through this painful event. Maximum Dun-Dunnage. Hey, here's our elephant friend. And now it's popping off, see? Now it's popping off. You get one of those and you start triggering almost like perma-chain public events. You think the moat prices will go up in the future? Every price has the chance to go up in the future. I have the same crystal ball you do. I absolutely hate speculating on price because people hold me to it. Needless to say, the demand for moats is definitely going to increase. Look at how many moats are used in enchants, oils, flasks, potions, the whole shebang. $900. Yes! Good-o. Now I'm down to 6 dun-duns. See, this is a scam. It doesn't give you 2 extra either. Because I've already farmed up my weekly maximum of 8. Just a scam. This whole event, it feels like a scam. Any suggestions on the best zonal spot to find the weekly treasures in? I fly in Voidstorm, but it's very populated. It's just a chore. I wish I could share some secret sauce, but I've literally just spent 45 minutes doing it on this character myself, so it's unfortunately just a chore. The only thing I would say is avoid the sort of like grass is always greener on the other side sort of thing. Just stick to a zone. Stick to a zone and farm out a zone. I personally prefer Zulaman because I tend to think that there's other things that can easily be done there as well. There's a lot more fishing pools, giving you a lot more chance at like fishing treasure pools. It's advertised as a better zone to get dun-duns in. If you still need those for the week. So Zulaman is my favourite, but it's by no means super quick, hacky way of doing it. Yeah, the trick is actually just to farm up 6 of them, isn't it? And then go get 2 from the quest. That way you don't waste them and you don't spend extra time farming. But I actually think, we were talking about this earlier, the long play on this is just to not worry about them at all. And casually get them across the period of a week by just playing the game. And if you're not playing the game enough to get them casually, then you might have to do something about it on a Tuesday or, you know, or on a Monday or something. But you probably shouldn't, you know, go out of your way to farm dun-duns particularly. Unless you can help it. I like fishing in the Voidstorm. If you go over Slayer's Rise, there's the green pools. Same drops as the oceanic vortexes. You just stay in one pool and fish the dun-duns in 10 minutes. I mean, fishing works. I mean, you don't even need to leave the city. The pool in the middle of Silvermoon City is perfectly fine for doing your dun-duns if you really want. But like I said, I probably wouldn't recommend people go far out of their way to farm them. Just get them sort of passively from playing. 139 wand. I mean, it is technically an upgrade. How many we done? Have we genuinely only done 3? Feels like we've done about 23. Bought 20,000 rank 1 copper ore for 29 gold apiece. Sold it for 43. Flipping out. Go on. I don't know what it is about this as well. It like I've never felt 3 minutes last so long in my life. I guess this is how the wife feels. Maybe 3 minutes isn't. Maybe 3 minutes is a long time. Definitely seems to drag on. Last that long? Oh, you got to go at least twice. First time doesn't count, right? Definitely feels like they've hard nerfed the amount of abundance you get per run, though. They've tweaked and tuned something behind the scenes. Maybe all of those people getting the 1,000,000 abundance achievements on day 1 of the expansion was not intended. Who would have thought? The achievements that are meant to last people the entire expansion. Bang, done in a day. Lol. Whoops. It's almost like Blizzard didn't test this. Feels like sometimes a minute is added to the timer. I swear I look at it and the time's down to 30 seconds. Then I look at it again and it's back up to over 1,000,000. Yeah, exactly. It's, Oh, I only got 600 that time. I'm in a flipping 20-man raid group and still only got 600. Game is rigged. Oh! Game is rigged. I'm getting sleepy. I'm genuinely getting tired. I'm 4 runs in and I'm ready for a nap. I'm telling you, there's something about this event that just literally not like literally in the quite literal sense of the word literally, it puts me to sleep. I greatly apologize for you guys that are pretending to be entertained by this content as well. How can I be in a flipping 20-man raid group and still only get 600 abundance? How's that even a thing? Bunch of fucking slackers. Pull your fingers out. Oh, who made me party leader? Oh, Christ. I've got double jobs. I want double jobs. You list it. I don't want jobs. $20 people, 18 of them AFK. Wow, yeah. Do you need to be max level? No, you need to have completed the campaign to unlock it. But I'm going to assume by 10 days into the expansion that that's a given. Oh wow, more responsibility. Do I get a pay rise? Yeah. Can you not see I'm busy dun-dunning? Stupid game. That's what I need on a t-shirt. Never lucky. Stupid game. You also need to gather the orbs faster now. They disappear faster? Is that what's happening? I don't know how many of you ever played Vampire Survivors, but the guy that made Vampire Survivors did an interview or something at one point, and he was talking about like how he was coming up with the systems for Vampire Survivors originally. And one of the things he said that he came up with, which Blizzard really clearly needs to do with this, is that when there was a certain amount of icons on the screen, it clumped them all together into one super icon and made it red, so it was easy to figure out which one was the super icon. They just need to do the same thing with this. Rather than making them disappear like 10 seconds after they spawn, they just need to clump them all together, make it a big shiny red one, and then if there's loads going on, you just run around and you pick up the big shiny red ones. Goal is to make it so that you don't get them, not to make it easier. Wow, yeah, you're probably right there. But you know categorically one of the performance issues with this event is that there is so many physical things on your screen at any one point that all need to be rendered out and calculated, and, you know. That's probably why, more so than anything. So that your client doesn't completely get tanked into the ground. Oh, by the way, I spotted a post on the forum. Not that I frequent the forums all that frequently. It's kind of a bit of a bad habit in the first place. But there is so many people complaining about like memory leaks at the moment. And even there's like a mega thread on it where Blizzard came out and they're like, we've looked at it, there's no memory leak. Fuck off, there's no memory leak. I have my client open for like an hour and it's using 64 gig of 65 gig of RAM, you know? Like, it's outrageous. It may not be that there's not a memory leak in the traditional sense of a memory leak, being that it never recovers it until it just crashes your system, but it is not recovering the unused RAM, like, at all. And what this is what it's causing is people's systems to cap out on their system RAM, and then it's maxing out your graphics card at the same time. Because it's then chunking all of your VRAM from your graphics card, pumping your graphics card significantly harder than it should be. And yet the fact that there was like an official blue post on it on the forums where they're like, no, there's no issue. Fuck off, there's no issue. Outrageous. Shit, I'm in a group with like 3 people now. I guess this is what happens when I didn't, Oh god, this is going to be a bad one, isn't it? This is going to be a bad one. Oh no, we've still got 900, good. I got 2 more runs, I got to find a new group. None of the current design is about making it more fun, it was just about stopping the lag. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's a very probable reason why your PC is so loud. If the game is not recuperating unused RAM every once in a while to keep the RAM usage in check, then your RAM is getting capped out, and then your graphics card is getting capped out at the same time. I mean, I've only had the client open for a couple of hours, and I've got one client running, and it's currently consuming 36 gig of RAM. One client of World of Warcraft, 36 gig. That's outrageous. Now, I've got 64 gig of RAM, so, you know, to a degree, it's fine. But this 36 keeps steadily, it keeps steadily going up. It goes up and up and up and up and up and up and up. Until eventually it hits, like, 60 out of 64 gig of RAM, and everything starts to chug, and I have to reset the client. The AMD 9070, and I swear I feel like the performance should be better. Kind of GPU am I running? WoW's not really a GPU bound game, it's very much CPU bound. But the reality is due to the fact that I do this for a living, my PC's, you know, by most people's standards, pretty powerful. Which means if it's chugging for me, I can only imagine how much it's chugging for some of you lot. Right, 2 more done runs though, this one and one more, so we are within 6 minutes of being done for the week. At least on this tune. I do have one more crafter that it definitely needs to be done on. But that can wait. Drop down to 1080p, easy fix. No, I didn't buy a 5080 graphics card and a 4K screen to play it in 1080p. I flat out refuse. Flat out refuse. If I can run Cyberpunk at 4K with 150 FPS pretty stable, there's absolutely no fucking way World of Warcraft should be running at 30 FPS. Absolutely no shot.
Let's make sweet, sweet profit together.
Feels like WoW should run at max settings with no issues. I mean, it absolutely should. Like, if you've got even a reasonable PC, you should be running this no problems.
Is that your wallet? Or are you just glad to see me?
Because at the end of the day,
Both,
World of Warcraft, they have their own game engine. It's not like they can even pull the excuse of the Unreal Engine isn't very well optimized. No, they physically they use their own game engine. They're entirely in control of it. It, in theory, gives them even less excuses for poor performance. Because it's not like they're trying to use somebody else's game engine and just trying to hack shit together like so many other game devs out there do because of cost reasons. No, this game's fucking 20 years old. They're entirely responsible for it themselves. No reason it should chug. Right, we better get 900 on this one now. There we go. One more. We got one more? One more. One to go. Bought 34-inch curved OLED monitor just to find out that WoW won't give it burn-in. I mean, OLED is subject to burn-in regardless. It's not just WoW's fault. I mean, it's really not that subject to burn-in. Not if it's a reasonably up-to-date monitor. Cheap bargain basement OLED, maybe. Even then. I mean, real burn-in was the days of like plasma TVs.
Is that your wallet?
That was
Are you
real
just glad to
burn-in.
see me?
That was
Both,
some
I
special
hope.
kind of burn-in, that was.
Is that your wallet? Are you just glad to see
Yo,
me?
Terra King with the gifties.
Both,
Thank you
I
very
hope.
much. I appreciate that. Thank you for spending them here. I hate when they get angry at me for it. Customers who had burn-in so painful because it's not covered by the warranty. Yeah, I remember the days of retail well. The fact that stores get such flack for warranty stuff is beyond me. You know, the store is responsible for honouring the warranty, but the warranty is set by the manufacturer. Like, it's fucking nothing I can do about it. The best one, and the most frustrating one to a lot of people, was obviously I did my stint in retail in the UK, where the warranty on electronic goods is only a year. And the amount of people that would be like, oh, well, European law states this. And it was so frustrating to have to point out that, well, you know, that doesn't actually apply here. And at the end of the day, it's not our doing either way. We're just honouring the warranty that's provided by the manufacturer. Don't fucking shoot the messenger. I was not good at customer service in retail. Kind of why I don't do flipping work orders. Oh, 600 abundance again. We got screwed. Stupid game. Okay. Right, we are finito on that one though. This dude is pretty much up to date for this week. Nice. Sure, buddy, let me just change Samsung's warranty as a minimum wage store clerk. Yeah. Yeah. Let me just go about doing that. Worked in electronics retail once, short story. A woman who worked it in care once tried to return a sat nav, and we said we'd send it off for repair. She said she needed it for that weekend. Because we refused, she said the woman she cares for will die because of me, as she won't be able to get there. I had to call security because she got angry at me when I told her she could just use a paper map. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. I mean, the bit about the sat nav, obviously, not that. Right, is there anything we need to do on this dude now? We did our Patreon orders on it, didn't we, earlier? Let's clean stuff up just a touch. Clean up a few things. Probably sell a few bits and bobs as well. How good is fishing right now? I don't know. Go do some. Let me know. No, I no idea. I've not done any serious fishing. I had to explain to a customer whose baby formula machine broke that had to be sent in instead of just swapping out for a new one, that the formula itself can be hand mixed. So she was moody with me. Yeah. There's some people get so unreasonable when they get enraged. It's kind of funny. This is, like I said, this is why I was never fantastic at the customer service thing, because I just found it funny. And unfortunately, an angry customer usually doesn't appreciate you laughing in their face. The advantage I had was that I was often quite senior in the store I worked in, so I could get away with it. It was fine. All of this random guff just needs to go on the auction house, doesn't it? Now, my TSM group is not fully finished for this yet. What are tailors looking more for in the profession tools? Multicraft or resourcefulness? It depends what you're doing. If you're specialized in something that can multicraft, you always want to stack multicraft. And in turn, if it doesn't, you stack resourcefulness. All this flipping tarnished stuff is oh, I'm posting a lot of it at normal price. I see why. Okay. Oh no, I was posting me silly silverleaf thread on the auction house. Oh, I need to remove that from the group. Hang on. That's one of those vendor mats that I really don't care to sell. Silly that it's even in a group. That's going to be down here. No, flipping hell. Where is it? Is it not in a group? In that case, why was it being sold? I don't know. Maybe we'll figure that out next time. So, I've got 16 points knocking about on inscription. I'm kind of half saving these until I've just got 30. And then as soon as I get 30, I'll slam them into one of these two. Probably flip a coin to decide which one. Probably the mixing rod, to be honest. I should, thinking about it, buy the epic version, shouldn't I? Epic version of the quill. I can't craft one for myself yet, but I can always craft it for others. Hang on, have I not done this? Wild levels of deja vu. Wild levels of deja vu. Haha, I already have. It's because I hadn't favorited it, that's why. It's a good thing I checked, didn't I? I nearly bought the same recipe twice then. That would have been real dumb. Actually got plenty of Moxie. 600 Moxie on this scribe. Should probably just buy the other ones regardless. Then they're done, right? I wonder when Craft Sim will learn to differentiate the item level for crafted gear. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I tend to keep a few maps just on hand to quickly see things, but an expensive way to just quickly view things. Arguably, I should also be putting points into calm hands, into resourcefulness. It's 30 points here, isn't it? It's kind of the right thing to do to fully optimize these quills, but I'm not actually mass producing these or selling them particularly much on this toon right now. Namely because I can't group them and sell them like efficiently, and it's annoying me. But it's not a problem I'm going to be able to easily fix, so I might just have to man up and deal with it. What was I doing on tailoring on this character? We were going elbow deep into here. Basically means we can do anything, but we've not specialized in anything yet particularly. I can unlock the second bolt and then have good points on them. That's probably the play, isn't it? As I've already started. Oh, now these are going to be at weird flipping different times to each other. Ooh, that's really gross. I should have definitely made sure I had 20 points and unlocked them both at the same time. That's weird. I don't like that. That hurts my OCD brain. Maybe we'll just ignore it for a few days. Alright, I think this dude's done. Spent plenty enough time on this character today. Play PvP in on each of my characters. I have professions that help with their gear. Am I going about this the right way, or is there a better way to do it in a cost-effective way? I usually recommend players be greedy first with their professions. And by that I mean that do something that benefits you. Because if it benefits, and you're in essence, you're doing the right thing, because, you know, you're getting something out of your profession, right? Anything else you do with that profession, any spare stuff you do with that profession, you can sell to others as a way to make some gold. But pick your professions that are going to benefit you directly first. You're also more than likely to keep them up to date if you get something out of it yourself. You pick professions purely for the money in it, you're actually quite likely to just, you know, not bother quite quickly. Managed to get a crazy amount of moxie on my engineer. Already bought every single recipe. Maybe there wasn't many to collect. Well, it's weird, right? Moxie is, you know, we were all prepared for Moxie to be a bit of a bottleneck and to be chasing it, because that's what we've done for 2 expansions. But them not putting it on the profession tools has kind of left us going, oh, well, we don't really need it for much now, do we? Some professions need it for a lot more, though. Leatherworking has like 2,000 plus moxie, I think it needs to get just the profession recipes. The profession tool recipes. A lot of professions buy their decor patterns with moxie. But yeah, something like engineering is going to very quickly be like, well, what do I need moxie for? Nothing. Herbalism and mining has like, skinning has just no need for moxie at all, because they don't have recipes to buy. It doesn't get used on their tools. They have absolutely no need for it. It's kind of it's another thing that showcases just how rushed across the finish line the whole thing was, because half of it doesn't make any sense. Like, when you break it down like this, like, why do we have this profession agnostic currency that doesn't do anything? right? That all of a sudden ended up not being used for anything. It's just kind of weird. Right, quick break for 2 minutes. Back in 2. Righty. Made me laugh that they made Moxie profession specific to fight the profession shuffle from the War Within and Dragonflight, and then just ignored the fact that you can max it out from buying a book from a vendor. Yes and no. You couldn't max it out from buying a book from a vendor. This is where misinformation is kind of rampant on the internet. Because it still cost you Moxie to buy the book, which you were very aggressively limited to how much Moxie you were able to have. Like, yes, it was an exploit, and yes, people should get banned from it, and yes, it shouldn't have happened in the first place, but people were not able to get, people got like a 10, 20, 30 knowledge point advantage from doing it, for example. People were not filling their entire tree. Like, the misinformation about it is actually gross. But we went into so much detail on all of that the other day, I'm not doing it again. Hello. Why is brilliant silver ore stupid money? What's going on here? Why is brilliant silver ore 50 gold a piece? Ha! Okay, sure. Here's the question then, boys and girls. Do I prospect all of this? Or do I just sell it? Call it a day? Has that then also in turn ramped the price of gems? Ha! Probably, because I sold all my gems. Interesting. All the ores have gone up. Goldson was pissed about it, said people knew about it on the beta, makes the game unfun, literal crash out, the exploiters. Yeah, I had a bit of a whinge about it on Wednesday. I had a bit of a whinge about it, but my whinge is not the fact that I think it breaks the, like, it's not good for the game, but my whinge is the fact that people use it as a scapegoat reason to be like, oh, the profession system sucks, nothing's profitable, And then you ask them why, and they're like, oh, well, because of exploits. And it's like, well, no. No, because that's not how it works. It is a factor that would be better off if it didn't exist. But, yeah, no. Good vibes only. Yes, my man, I appreciate it, yes. Good vibes as I've sold 250,000 gold worth of prospected things at a nice, healthy profit. And I've either got the opportunity now to either just resell my ore or do a bunch of prospecting to maybe even maximize that even further. What gems gone to then? If ore's gone up to like 50 gold a piece, surely the gems have also gone places. Surely. I mean, they must have done by proxy the fact that I sold all of mine and I'd put mine on the auction house at quite the premium. And I don't seem to have any more on the auction house. That leads me to believe they must be all 400 gold plus. Reagents. Jewel crafting. Yeah, they're all 400 gold plus. What do we do then? The stats on the gems got increased. Oh, did that cause a whole bunch of people to run out and decide that they want to be a jewel crafter all of a sudden? Is that what we're saying? Or 15 or 17 haste. What did they change them from and to? 20 stats to... Okay. Well, they've made gems more important, I suppose. That doesn't in any way, shape or form mean that people weren't going to use them. But I'll take it. The all within gems were better? Oh! Oh, I see. Oh, well, that needed to... Sure. That's kind of silly. More people have decided that gems are now worth it and demand increased. It's probably a bit of a wobble in the matrix, isn't it? It'll self-correct itself. I'm tempted just to not bother and just sell out all that ore. I don't have a lot of it. What have I got? Like 30k? Not even. No, it's not even 30k. TSM's tracking it twice. I've got like 15,000 ore here. 15,000 ore, probably 10 gold profit on it. 150k profit if I just resell the ore. Do I just take the easy win? Do I just take the easy win, or do I try and do something with it? I'm taking a risk doing anything with it, a risk that isn't really necessary to take. I'll come back to that in a minute. Let me get my patron orders done, and then we'll investigate. The irony of all ironies being is that I've fully spec'd into prospecting, but the reality is I've done very little of it. Done very little of it to justify the adventure. Where am I knowledge point wise with jewel crafting now? I think I've got everything min-maxed with prospecting. 30, yeah. I need... What do I need? I need the 40 points to go into crushing as well. I kinda should have set crushing up on a separate character, but every day that I don't do it, it's diminishing returns on the value of actually doing it. I just The fact that I haven't done that much prospecting in the first place has also meant that I've not really felt the need to do too much crushing either. Even though, weirdly, I'm led to believe that it's actually the crushing where the money's been. Funnily enough. I find it really odd at the moment, right? Let me use my own long boy because that dude's going to run away. I have a very strong suspicion that we're going to see a shift in the gems. For reference, right now, the uncommon gems and the flawless variations of them are the same goddamn price. Even diamonds are the same price. All the flipping gems are exactly the same price. Give or take 50 gold, because for some reason the Harandar Peridot's 50 gold more expensive. I haven't worked out why this is the case. Why is this one always 50 gold more expensive? Is it because I and everybody else told everybody to buy these for the purpose of leveling it? Oh, green equals haste. That's a possibility, yeah. That would make some sense. Yeah, the fact that flipping everything's exactly the same price is one of the clearest indications that nobody really wants any of it yet. Right? This is everything was naturally going to balance to be worth the same in a scenario where prospectors are prospecting, but nobody really wants half of it. There was no real significant demand for anything to pull the value of something up, which allows you to sell something else for less. This like pure level of normalization between all of the prospecting items, excluding stupid stone and glass, right? But like this normalization here shows that nobody really wants anything seriously yet. I want to know when that serious need for gems is going to kick in, because it's got to at some point. To be fair, the other thing to consider is that ultimately nobody wants normal quality gem cuts anyway. So the reality is all of this normal quality stuff is basically just crush bait. Basically crush bait. It's a slightly different story when we talk about the high quality stuff, because when you look at the high quality stuff, and to be fair, the pattern is relatively similar with the high quality as well, that it's all squished to be a very similar price. We got like what, 1,100 gold, 1,000 gold to 1,300 gold is the shift in value between these. This will start to, the gap will start to widen on this a little bit. I think the flawless ones will go up. Don't shoot me here, right? I know I don't like speculating on price, but I think soon as people start getting a bit serious with this, you'll see the price of the flawless ones go up, because they're what's needed to actually cut the gems in the first place. And you'll see the uncommon ones start to be cheaper because of that. And you'll start to focus on crushing the uncommon ones. This will be your way to get the high quality glimmering gem dust at quality 2. You'll crush these ones. You'll sell the flawless ones to other jewel crafters, who are then going to cut them into the cut versions, and diamonds will just do what diamonds do, is the way I think that it's going to pan out. Meaning, if I was to offer any advice for prospectors out there, it would be to focus on selling your uncommon stuff for as much as you can get for it right now. Because it's the uncommon stuff that I greatly feel is at most risk of just like crashing. And the fun thing is when demand kicks in, the uncommon stuff will crash. And that's counterintuitive to some people. But the reason the uncommon stuff will crash is because the flawless stuff will see demand, and it will rise because of the demand. And when you can sell the flawless for more, you can sell the uncommon for less. Is what I suspect will happen. But it all very much depends on what the price of the ore is going to do in the next, week. If we see this starting pattern of the ore jumping in value by like 10 gold, because of a small little announcement. That could be the catalyst that kicks it off. You know, I wouldn't be overly surprised seeing even the basic stuff ramp in value a little bit, but it's the high quality stuff that's more interesting to pay attention to, just because of how few of it there seems to be. There doesn't really seem to be a lot of it about, like 10k and 20k high quality mats. Just think about how few actual gem cuts that is when the season starts. Buy a ton of the rank 2 ore before gem demand kicks in, I guess. More demand for gems, less people flying around gathering ore because they're in the Mythic Plus and raiding. Well, yeah. I mean, we're not exactly overstocked on this stuff as it stands at the moment anyway, are we? We're not exactly overstocked on it. I mean, it's 3 million gold. The entire high-quality Umbral tin market is worth 3 million gold. That is pocket change. Now, of course, you wouldn't do this because it sets your unit price at a ludicrous number, but, like, sneaking away a few thousand ore every day on the cheap is not a terrible idea. I mean, you prospect 1,000 high-quality ore. What are you getting out of 1,000 high-quality ore? 25 gems? 30 gems? I don't know. Then when you look at the cuts, where's the... It's like, oh, you only need one flipping gem, don't you? You only need one of the actual flawless gems to make a cut. Yeah, this is the thing that, like, I can't get it out of my head, and I see why other people make the same mistake. I can't get it out of my head is still, like, in the world of that you need loads of gems to make a single cut. You don't. You need fucking nothing. You need one flawless gem and 5 dusts. You need absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing to actually create these. But I guess that's kind of good because there isn't exactly an abundance. There isn't exactly a plethora, an oversupply. I need to stop using the abundance word. It triggers people. There isn't really large supplies of the high quality stuff as it stands right now anyway. Now, I've not been keeping an eye on these. This might just be because of recent hot fixes to gems. It could just be that everybody's bought a bunch of this out, but flawless are using the enchants too. A little bit, some of them. Yeah, this is the week to start thinking about this stuff. Some people would argue that you should have already been thinking about it, and that's also probably true. When you start to see the prices go up, it happens quite quickly because it's a chain reaction. FOMO kicks in and people are like, oh my god, it's gone up 10%, I must buy everything now. And then when the season launches, everything crashes again. Let's not forget. You got to really be diamond hands with this. Even if some of these, you know, even if the basic stuff goes up to 60 gold, 70 gold in the next week, you got to remember on the launch of the season, it will crash back down to 40. But then it will be 2 weeks later that, you know, the real magic happens. So don't go crazy. There is some starting to be some signs of some squirreling happening. Starting to be some signs of some people putting some stuff away. $50 gold for a work order. 10 days into an expansion, people are like, yep, I'll give you 50 gold to craft that. Oh. Even if I had the recipe, I wouldn't do it. Wow, my patron orders are stinky on my leatherworker. Alright. I tell you what, boys and girls, it's been a short stream. It's been a bit of a shorter week in terms of stream, I'm aware. But I think I might just call it there, to be honest. I'm probably going to try and finish my TSM profile for an hour or two. But it's one of those things that I kind of need to focus on it. I kind of need to concentrate while I'm doing it. Not too easy to do on stream. So I think I'm going to leave it there for the day. And in turn, probably the week. There might be a bonus stream over the weekend. I haven't planned to stream over the weekend. I'm going to be brutally honest. I'm tempted to just not play the game for a couple of days. Since when the season, when the season starts kicking off, it gets a little bit crazy for a little while. So I'm actually very tempted to just not play the game for 2 days, just as a bit of a refresh, a bit of a chill, and calm before the storm, I guess is the phrase. That's what I did yesterday. Break day was needed. Yeah, I'm very tempted to just, order pizza, have a few beers, watch a film on Netflix or something. Stream some Megabonk. I might play some Megabonk. I've not played. There's a new map I haven't played on Megabonk actually. Slay the Spire 2 is also out. It's excellent. I enjoyed the first one. I don't really want to get distracted with another game. That's very risky. I might just take 2 days to just not play video games, That might actually be the sensible thing to do. Oh, sorry, Doge Cam is Doge Amalama's is she's sunbathing. Got her nose in the sun. But yeah, we'll see. If I don't see you over the weekend, have a wonderful weekend. Best of luck with your crafting. Best of luck with getting your professions and stuff in order. Don't overspend on setting them up. Be savvy about buying your mats. Don't go crazy. But yeah, thank you for sticking around this week. It's been a fun launch so far. If you ignore some of the negativity from some of the exploits and distractions, it's been a fun launch so far. Hopefully it will continue to be so for a good few weeks. But yes, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. I will, if I don't see you before, I'll see you Monday. Have a good one. Peace.